but it's good.
As for me though, what I've been playing, Astral Chain. I've been playing that game the whole time.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. The music is great. Visually, I'm impressed that it can run so well on the Switch. I will say in terms of switching things up with scenery, because this is not a open world kind of game. It's more of a linear structure.
Yes.
And I will say, the game reminds me a lot of. What's a good game to compare this to? I would say it reminds me a little bit of Batman, if I'm being honest with you.
Batman?
Yes, Batman.
Why? Because of the detective?
The detective work plays a way bigger role than what I thought it did. It puts you in this semi-open world structure area, kind of like similar to Yakuza. And they have different of those structures, and like I was really surprised by some of the influence that some of these backdrops took from. The very first place they drop you into, that's not apart from the main area where you do all your stuff.
Yes.
It reminds me of New York City, Times Square. Yeah, it's a short little, like small little areas. Like I said, linear game you can explore. But while you're there, you can go straight to the main mission, or you can also do side quests. And they're like, every time you go there, there's always new side quests waiting for you. And these aren't like little side, like these are actually like, they feel like for full like little, not full missions, but like they feel fulfilled when I do them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a satisfactory feeling.
Yeah, it's not something that was like half-assed. They really put a lot of effort into like the side stuff. A lot of them aren't, not everything is voice acted, by the way, but I can see why they kind of did that. But I would say, from what I played, I'm on file number 6, like chapter 6, so I would say most of it is voice acted. So overall, good. Voice acting is also pretty good too.
That's great.
Yeah, the character customization is dope. And I would say also the fighting mechanics. See, when I first played the game, I didn't know if the fighting mechanics were going to be that great, because your only attack button really is the right trigger. And your Legion pretty much fights on his own. So I was worried about how that was going to work out. But the upgrade system is insane. Basically, as you keep playing the game, you can unlock more legions, as they call them. I call them stands.
You and almost 80% of the community.
Yeah, they all do different things. They all have their own ability. Like there's one of them where he literally takes you and puts you inside of his body, and you can fight him. He's like a big brute. There's one where it's like a dog, and you can ride on the dog like around places. You can use it to track. When you find items around the world and you need it for certain missions, you can give him scents to track, and he'll track down scents. He can find like treasure, and he has like this little treasure detector and shit. Like there's a lot of detail they put in the game, and each one has its own thing. There's one where you can be an archer, and you can shoot different things, and you have to use it to get power. And just the combos and all this stuff you unlock from the skill trees have been surprising to me. So I have a lot to say about this.
Not bad, actually. Sorry to like interrupt you there for a second, but I'm not gonna lie. Like when you were describing Astral Chain like that, I immediately got vibes of Judgment. I think you know what Judgment is, right? Yeah. The spin-off game from the creators of the Yakuza series. And it has very similar things, like you say. There's a lot of detective work, sleuthing, trying to piece things together with like a semi-open world type of thing. I think the only, just the difference is that this is more... Would you say that Astral Chain is very arcadey in terms of like the gameplay, like the fighting and all that, or
the fighting? Yes, but I will say, when I went into this game, I thought it was just gonna be like all fighting. The game actually breaks up the fighting quite a bit before you actually do it. There's a whole bunch of detective work that goes into it. There's a whole bunch of preparing that goes into it. Like you have to go to the infirmary and get your items, all your items beforehand.
Yeah.
What they do when you die in this game, they don't call it a life, they call it a battery.
Battery.
Yeah, battery. And you have, if you play it on the regular mode, which is the platinum standard mode, you get 2 batteries, meaning you have 2 more times to come back and try it out. And there's different items that can like refill your batteries and do all types of shit, give you all types of effects. The enemy, different types of enemies have been also interesting. I don't want to give any spoilers just yet, but one thing I will say, this is a slight spoiler. This is a slight spoiler for anyone that's watching this. This is a very slight spoiler.
Yes.
There's a part of the game Okay, so as you know, you're the feds. You're the cops.
Yeah, you're the cops.
So there's a part of the game where you basically have to go undercover, let's say.
Undercover?
Undercover, yeah. There's a part of the game where you have to go undercover.
For what?
Okay, so basically you're trying to do some detective work away from what the police know about.
Okay.
So and it gets really, really interesting. I won't say much more than that.
Okay.
But they got me.
They got you?
Yeah, they got me.
All right. That alone really drives my curiosity to play this game. If I didn't before, I definitely want to now. So, actually, just a quick side note. I don't know why I got Astral Chain and Code Vein mixed at one point.
Wow.
I don't know why, but yeah, that's just great. I'm really glad that you're having fun with Astral Chain. It's a great game, honestly. Platinum Games almost never disappoints when it comes to their really big hits.
One more thing. One more game mode play style, I should say, that they put in there for difficulty options.
What?
They put an option that basically lets the game play it for you. They just fight everything automatically.
Including your character?
Yes. And it's basically just for you to enjoy the story. I never really played it, but hey.
Well,
it was there.
Yeah, if you want your video game to be a movie, then by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, let's talk about some other stuff.
Yes. Speaking of which, I think